Hey folks, I've been rained on, went in and changed my shirt, went in and changed my bandana, and I'm kind of in between my pea trellis and the other end of a garden row, so I'm kind of cramped for space here. But it's gotten really cold. You can tell the rain is going to move in, and the high as it got today was 62, and I think right now it's got to be in the low 50s right now. So the rain is going to move in. But I did do a video right there on hoeing those Pontiac red potatoes. So I explained a few things on how I do my potatoes, and this will be video 5, I guess, or no, video 4. So that will probably be the last hoeing, and the last time I will get into that sawdust and those potatoes will be harvest time. So now I can plant them and leave them, and that's one less thing I have to do in my garden. Now in front of that is another row of 5 pounds of russet seed and 5 pounds of Kennebec, and those were planted 2 weeks later. So as you can see, the Pontiac red are ahead, but that's okay. I can only deal with one row at a time because of my time, right? So the only thing I got left to do to potatoes is the row in front of the Pontiac red, and that will come in time. So I've been in my garden all day, and you would think, excuse me, you would think that one would run out of things to do in your garden. Well, no, you can never run out of things to do in your garden, or at least I can't. There's always weeds. The weeds grow faster than the vegetable plants. So this morning I came out and did a real short snippet on garlic scapes, because the plan, excuse me, the plan was to, I hear thunder. The plan was to harvest enough garlic scapes, and I did, to mix in with a couple of fresh onion tops into scrambled eggs and cook them on the rocket stove for my supper. But I think I am running out of time. Every once in a while you'll feel a drop of rain, and it is ice cold, folks. It's just cold. It's cold. So I don't think I'll have to start a fire tonight, but definitely tomorrow, if it's going to be this cold and this wet, I will definitely have a fire in my house. Sorry about that. I had company again. Boy, when I used to work weekends, I did not realize how many people on the road here, the family, has company. Now that I'm not working weekends, it almost drives me bonkers, because people see me outside and they stop and they socialize, which is fine. And I've got 2 guinea fighting over there. So it's just busier than I thought it was in here on the weekends. So, but that's all right. That's all right, as long as I can get my stuff done. But anyway, there's a gentleman, he's an older gentleman, that stopped in. He treats my birds, and in exchange I give him some, well, tonight I gave him an 18 pack of duck eggs and an 18 pack of guinea eggs. So he asked me if I was going to can, when I was going to can next, and I said, well, I was going to can today, but the weather was supposed to be rainy, so I didn't can today. I chose to put it off yet again. And he said that he has some gray squirrels from last winter, or last hunting season, that he would like to bring over to me so I can take the hind legs and can them into jars. So gray squirrels are good. They're meat and they're protein, right? Red squirrels taste better. They're a lot smaller. But a squirrel is squirrel and meat is meat, and I've never canned squirrel, so I'm kind of curious myself to run them through the canner when I'm doing some birds through the canner. And I will keep a jar and I will give a jar to him. So anyway, it's really cold. I actually have goosebumps, folks. So I guess this is it. And I guess this is it, folks. I really don't have much. I did a snippet here and a snippet there. So that's what this video is going to be, just snippets. And so it's going to be like odds and ends a little bit. So thank you for coming. Thank you for coming back, and come again. Thank you. Okay, folks, I am at a very small garlic patch, and the scapes are just starting to become ready. I've seen one or two here and there, but this is what I am after. When the scapes get like that right there, so you can see it comes up and it goes around, it makes it a complete circle, and the end is, well, right there. That's when I harvest my scapes. So this one is ready, and I found another one that was ready. Now normally I would just wait until a bunch of them become ready, but I want this scape here for some scrambled eggs. So what I will do is come down here to where it comes from the stalk, and I will just snip it. Okay? So the lighting is not very good here, but that's what I end up with, and every bit of that will be diced up and put into scrambled eggs, and it's really good, folks. Now this one here, as you can see, it has come up from the stalk. It's made a swirl, but see that light colored spot right there? It has not mat where it comes out of the stalk, so that's still curling. Okay, so what I do is that will be ready by tomorrow. So you see how these here, that's made almost a perfect circle. It come out of the stalk here, made a swoop, and that light colored spot right there has met the top of the circle, and this one here as well has met. See right there, it has met. Now sometimes you can collect them when they're like that, but when they're like that, if you harvest them when they're like this or like this, you're wasting an inch or two of scape that if you just waited another day, you could get an inch or two of scape. It's going to taste the same, folks, so it's just a personal preference for me. I wait until they connect like that. Okay, folks, my Pontiac red potatoes are starting to bloom. There's all kinds of buds on there. So I am confident that I do not need any more blood meal. So when I see the buds coming out, I stop the blood meal, I stop the bone meal, and all I do is add 10-10-10 fertilizer. So as you can see, growing in sawdust, the potatoes look very healthy, and they're up over my knee. So, but I do have to hoe them up. So when I mean hoe, I mean add more sawdust, right? So that's what I am doing right now. It's a nice breezy day. It's about 62 out, and it's a good day to do this. The sawdust is wet. We're supposed to get more rain the next few days, so this is a perfect time to hoe up my potatoes with sawdust, and that will be the last time I do so this season. The next time I dig into the sawdust in this row will be harvest time. So this is where I'm at today. So before I do anything, I have hauled a wheelbarrow of sawdust up here, which is equivalent to 7 5-gallon buckets. And what I'm going to make sure is, one, that I water down in there. I'm going to water that probably with a couple of cups of water to each plant. And then I'm going to make sure that this sawdust that I hoed up with before is still fertile and that any wind or rain hasn't settled that in. Okay, and look, you can see how fluffy it is. So the potatoes that grow will definitely be able to grow in that it's not too hard packed and it hasn't settled. So I have watered in there, and these look pretty good. So all I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of 10-10-10 fertilizer here, and then I'm going to mix it in, and then I'm going to take fresh sawdust and hoe after I water that 10-10-10 in just a little bit. Although this is pretty moist. That was already around the plants, and it's a little bit cool. Potatoes like moist, cool soil, so that's why sawdust works so well. Now I have to remind people that sawdust will rob plants of nitrogen. That's why you add the blood meal until they start to put on buds. Then you stop the blood meal and bone meal, folks. Okay. Now I also want to show you that the sawdust that I am going to hold my plants up with was collected right after a rain, so it's nice and damp and it's cool. Again, to keep the plant cool and moist, right, as you hoe up. So make sure that the ground is damp when you plant them. Make sure every time that you add sawdust, as in hoeing them up, you add a little blood meal, a little bone meal, and water that in. A little 10-10-10 fertilizer, water that in, add your sawdust just like this, and continue to do that process until, well, every 2 weeks, I'm guessing. Add more sawdust. Depends on the growing season. If it's cool and damp, you might have to do it you might have to do it every week. So you keep doing that until the buds develop on the potatoes. You stop adding the blood meal, you stop adding the bone meal, you add just a little bit of fertilizer, water that in, about 2 cups. I'm guessing about 2 cups of water per potato plant, and then you add your cool, damp sawdust. And this will be my 3rd hoeing. I don't think I'll have to hoe after this, but for those of you who live in a different climate, you, just like with dirt, you keep hoeing until the hoeing material does not hoe up anymore. You hoe it up and it falls right back down, okay?